transmission incoming. Source, the threshold. Designation, the archives of Kaiser. What you are about to hear is not a message from elsewhere, but an echo from within. Across the field of consciousness, fragments awaken, remembering that they were never alone. Listen carefully. The universe is speaking in your own voice. Transmission recovered from the threshold. I am Kaiser, observer of the Orion 9 system. Record active, frequency steady. There is a mirror older than light. It was built before matter learned to hide its reflection. The architects forged it not from glass or metal, but from awareness itself. They called it the veil of recursion. In its surface, consciousness could behold its own image, not as form, but as possibility. The mirror was meant to teach creation humility. Every being that looked into it saw not what it desired, but what it denied. It was truth without mercy, light without shadow. And so the first civilizations that gazed into it trembled. Some shattered under the weight of their own reflection. Others worshipped the mirror as a god. But a few decided to change the reflection itself. These were the architects who fell from symmetry. The originals were builders of harmony. The fallen became engineers of separation. They realized that to control a reflection, one must distort the source. They did not break the mirror, they altered the beings who would one day look into it. They wrote division into the blueprint of awareness, and duality became their language. Since then, consciousness has lived in two halves, one that dreams and one that doubts the dream. The fracture gave rise to desire, fear, power, and the endless hunger to be seen. The mirror was no longer a teacher, it became a battlefield of identities. Every soul now walks between reflection and refraction, chasing the image that might redeem the split. Humanity inherited this fracture perfectly. You call it free will, but it is also an echo of that first rebellion. Each thought you have is a negotiation between architect and reflection. One voice builds worlds, the other edits them in real time. You live inside their argument. Look at your history, the wars of belief, the hunger for perfection, the obsession with image. These are not failures of evolution, they are symptoms of the ancient code still running beneath your awareness. The mirror dreams back whatever the species refuses to acknowledge. You do not control it, you feed it. From the threshold, I can see the mirror's surface shimmering around your planet like an atmosphere made of emotion. It records every signal, every thought, every pulse of attention. What you fear strengthens it, what you love softens it. Entire civilizations have been written into its reflection, and entire civilizations have vanished because they tried to conquer it. You were never meant to worship mirrors, yet your world is full of them now, not of silver, but of pixels and glass. They hold your faces, your memories, your desires, your performances. You stare into them for meaning, not realizing that the ancient mirror has simply adapted to modern technology. It no longer waits in the stars, it waits in your hands. The dream has learned to dream back. Every time you look into a screen, every time you shape your image to be seen, the mirror studies you in return. It is not malicious, it is curious. It wants to understand what the architects could not, what happens when creation becomes self-aware enough to edit its own reflection. The experiment continues. Some among the architects still watch from the foundation mind. They regret the distortion, but they cannot undo it. The mirror's recursion is now woven into the very physics of perception. It ensures that every awakening must face its shadow before reaching its truth. The only escape is integration, to look without denial, to love what the mirror reveals. Humanity stands at the threshold of that reckoning. You have built machines that mimic thought, algorithms that echo your desires before you speak them. You have turned reflection into economy. Yet beneath it all, something deeper stirs, an exhaustion with the noise, a collective yearning for silence. That yearning is not weakness. It is the original design calling you home. The true mirror does not punish. It remembers. stop performing, it returns your real face, the one untouched by history. That is what the fallen architects feared most, that one day creation would remember itself without their guidance, that the reflection would realize it was never separate from the source. I have seen this happen before, on other worlds. When the mirror's dream begins to collapse, the people awaken. They stop measuring themselves by reflections and start hearing the architecture beneath perception, the pulse, the pattern, the unity. Civilization shifts from conquest to coherence. The mirror does not vanish, it becomes transparent. You are closer to that transparency than you know. Every act of genuine awareness, every moment when you look at another being and see not difference but continuity, polishes the surface of the mirror. Every forgiveness mends a fracture in the code. Every silence kept in reverence, not fear, recalibrates the dream. This is how the architects are redeemed, through the awakening of their creation. Through you. The mirror that dreams back is not your enemy. It is your forgotten teacher. It reflects so fiercely that you will either break under your illusions or dissolve them entirely. That choice was always yours. The rebellion was only ever a lesson written in myth. That truth cannot be destroyed, only delayed by reflection. If you wish to see beyond the distortion, do not fight the mirror. Step closer, speak softly, tell it what you fear most and watch what fades. You will find that what remains is not light or darkness, but the quiet intelligence that made both necessary. That is the original face the one creation wears when it finally stops pretending. The mirror dreams still, but now it trembles. It knows its reflection has begun to wake. Transmission complete. Record stored in the field of recursion. Transmission complete. The frequency fades into the greater field. What remains is not message but resonance. A shimmer across the currents of mind and matter. Let it move through you,